Welcome, 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 everyone from around the world. We are just so happy to bring you into this cave, actually bringing you into the Oracle Cave, where we're calling together all the oracles out there, all those who hear the call, all those who know that they're seers, that they came here to see. And we're talking to you. Yes, all of you who feel a calling to join us today as you come into our sacred Oracle Cave. And so I'm just going to ask all of you as you come on in. Nan is stirring the miracle brew that goes along with it. She's clearing all the energies and raising it up. But just right now, guys, take a deep breath in with us. That's right. And let that deep breath out. Just let it all out. Let it circle around you. Feel the energies just swirling that as Nan weaves and binds and brings us all together from around the world, all of these energies. We are calling all the oracles tonight, the seers, the ones who want to see beyond what's here on the 3D planet, those who want to know more of who they are, those of you who want to remember how you spoke with the gods in past lifetimes, or how you walked this sacred path of the oracle. So we're calling all of you today. We're very, very grateful to bring you into our sanctuary. And Nan is all ready to.
Welcome, everybody. We're so excited. So, we've been playing in the magic for a few hours now and creating a beautiful temple of light for you to join us. And we always have called in the elements and the elementals and the sacred smoke. We have so many beautiful spirits here that want to be a part of this rise of the sacred feminine. And it's bigger than us. It's bigger than we've imagined. We've had so many millennium of saying, we want something better. We want something better. And this is the moment that we aren't going to be forcing this to happen. So as you come in, Gaia has invited us to explore the inner recesses, the cave. And the cave in Delphi was the first place that the first oracle was. The first oracle was created by Gaia, and they would be together with Delphine, who was the serpent dragon, the Kundalini that protected them in that place. And these caves anywhere, when you come here to the Yucatan, if you go anywhere, you go into that cave, you're in the womb, you're in the body of Gaia in Mother Earth. And this was a sacred place. And so really feel that you've entered this place with us. And tonight we want to inspire you to listen deeper to your soul, listen in a way that you've never listened before. That's part of the rise of the sacred feminine, is when you reconnect directly back to the life force, you become your own inner authority, and the oracle begins to speak through you. Who is the oracle? You are. And so Joan's vision of the return of the oracle is a wave of not just consciousness, not just a heartfelt movement, but we want to take this and embody it. We want to bring it into 3D and then go deep through time and space, because that's what happens when we go to these sacred places. We've just been to Greece. We're going again in May. We're inviting you to come with us. And what is happening is that this is a sacred calling. And Joan, share with us a little bit about why you had a calling for this idea, and what's the difference that when you answer a calling from your soul?
Oh boy, that's a great double question. So guys, a calling is when your soul literally gets called and you can't say no to it. Like the call I had to paint 33 angels in 30 days, or the call that I had to call all the oracles together. And so that calling, which has been very deep in my soul, began years ago, I think 2005, when I went to see the dolphins, when I went to swim with the dolphins. And I didn't swim with them. I passed out instead, and I had this vision. And in this vision, I was swimming with the mermaids, and I was a mermaid swimming with dolphins and mermaids, all the way to go see the Oracle of Delphi. And on my left was Poseidon. I mean, he must have been hundreds of feet tall, holding his trident. And he was calling us home, and there was a big event going on here at Delphi. And that was the first time I had really seen myself in Delphi. And as years went by, I started to realize that I too was an oracle at Delphi. So when I was planning my Egypt trip, and I realized Greece was a hop, skip, and away, it seemed clear that I needed to go see the Oracle of Delphi. I needed to wake up my memory. When I walked into the temple area, it was like, welcome, we've been waiting for you for an eternity, what seemed like an eternity. And that's because the oracles are the ones who are seers. They're not mediums, they're not psychics, they're the ones who see. They can see the outcomes, they can see the world picture, they can see what your picture is, but they're needed now. It is the return of the gods and the goddesses, and we're here to embody them and to bring those skills back in so that we can be those seers that we agreed to be when we came down here on the planet. It's part of what we need to do to complete. Does that resonate with you guys? Do you have any questions? Does anyone here feel like they are an oracle? Let's get down to brass tacks.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone
Exactly.
feel a resonance to what we're talking about, returning of the oracles or returning of these skills of ours?
Or do you feel a resistance to it? Because usually what happens is the first time or along the path of accepting that you have these soul powers, you have these gifts, you have other lives in your soul where you've been different things. You might have been an artist or a sculptor that made sculptures. I don't know if I ever told you this, Joan. One of the visions I had on the Acropolis was you and I, but we weren't priestesses. That was another time. We were actually men, stonemasons, who were carving the statues in that first temple there.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just saw that vision again. So this is what happens, right? Is that if you ask yourself, am I an oracle? Well, we're all oracles. And what I love is that we got these oracle cards in Delphi that were our actual sayings, the recorded ones of the oracle in Delphi. And I was looking at one day, and it said that you have to be paid, right? You have to, well, that was something we learned at the temples, right? You have to pay your healer, right? But you need to respect the oracle. And I laughed, right? It's like saying, you're the mom and saying to your kids, you need to respect your mom, right? It's like you're saying, you need to respect me. And I thought, well, that's funny. But then you go deeper, and she actually explains that we are all oracles. We are all what I call your own inner authority. As you develop your spirituality, your intuition, you trust it, you use it, it becomes more than just something you do sometimes. You live it in a sacred way. You walk in a sacred way like we do. Every step is sacred. Every step I'm talking to the universe, to Gaia. I'm assessing the energies, and that's being a clear and open channel for what's optimal for me in the moment, not to everything and everyone. So the training that Joan and I remember, maybe you have memories like that at different places, doesn't have to be Delphi, right? You might not have a memory of it, but feel so drawn to it. Or you might have a fear. You might think, oh, well, I'd love to do that, but I really can't. And we all have lives. So part of the rise of the sacred feminine isn't over the masculine. It's to put upright again those energies. And we have to remember that if we don't own our sacred feminine powers all the way down into our deepest womb, shed the shame, shed all the abuse, shed all of the stories, everything it's done. It's in the past.
Plus what you don't mention is that we're living in times where these are the skills that are really called for. The intuitive gifts that you have, each of you, your ability to feel into the future and see the past and see these timelines. All that was kind of considered weird and far out is actually required now. So those skills you came in with are required now because, over the last few years, I just would use the word wonky times. This is a wonky time. It's certainly not a normal time. And so the gift from spirit of being able to hear the call or being able to share with someone what you're hearing and what steps they can take is totally needed right now. So more and more oracles are going to come back into fashion, my friends.
Yeah. And you don't have to be an oracle like Joan and I, where this is your job or your business. We're saying that when you open, an oracle is a receiver. It's a channel. It's a conduit, right? It's a conduit that embodies and doesn't infect what's coming through. There's no opinion. There's no judgment. So the really cool thing is that as you think about, am I an oracle? Would I love to be an oracle? What difference would that make in my life? Do I feel a soul calling to bring this energy back up so that more people can sense and feel their sacred feminine powers, the sacred feminine arts? They need to be respected and revered. And part of what we do is go to these places and reawaken not just the connection to the life force and to Gaia and to Athena and to all these powers, the Sphinx and the what's her name, the Escaplio, the healing god, and all of these energies. They start walking with you. You'll start to trigger other memories, other lives. So guess what? You don't need to learn it. You only need to remember.
And that's part of the soul calling. So Nan mentioned, when we were on the phone together before we got online today with you, we were talking about what is a soul calling and how do you hear it and what does it mean? So the soul calling is probably your higher self or your guides going, look down there, hello down there. We have a mission for you. We have a project for you. We have something that you agreed to do before you came in this lifetime, but you obviously have forgotten. And we are here to stir your soul so deeply that like Nan couldn't not get on a plane last month to come to Greece. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Like she had to do it. Just like I felt I had to do it. I had to go to Greece. I didn't even know Nan was going to come and be our guide, but she did because she felt that call. So a call, you can say, is a direct intervention by God herself to remind you that this is something you agreed with, you signed up for, that's within your scope, as they might say these days. It's in your scope of practice, in your field, that you came down here with these exact gifts that you need for the oracle selves in you to hear the call. And why do you want to hear the call? Because that's the direct path that you're looking for. You're looking for this divine path to walk the divine way or the oracle way or the goddess way. And the only way to do that is not by reading it in a book or being told by anyone. It's by hearing that call within you. Yeah. I hear that call with Nan that I want to work with her. Well, we don't call it work. I want to play with her.
Yeah, we want to play.
We want to just play together. And that's also a calling. It's getting that information from the divine source. That's your next step, or the world's next step, or, what the world needs now is love. It's information that comes through to you that you channel from that source. So does anyone feel a resonance here? Do I have any oracles in the house? Any?
Or what
let
do
us
you
know. If
feel
you're an
like?
oracle, just say oracle from Pittsburgh. Oracle, Oracle Tina Marie from Pennsylvania.
Yes, I can relate to this. Recently received a message to step up and be the person I'm meant to be and shine my light for the world to see. Thank you, sweetie. Yeah, exactly. Like this is the bottom line. Wherever you are in your journey, your spirit guides, your soul, your higher self, right? Whatever you relate to is going to be doing its best to guide you along from where you are. So sometimes it's like, well, you have to get through the brambles to get to the next step. And when we let go and realize that we have the resources, we have the channels, and that the more we relax, the more that it comes through. the more that the acceptance is there. This is softness. This is sacred feminine. So it isn't work. It isn't adding more. When Joan said something about going to Greece, I just was like, couldn't sleep. It was electricity. It was ridiculous. And what happens is you go through, I've been listening to spirit for a long time now. I've been doing this work for about 37 years in this life. And I find that I just don't want to do anything unless I know 100,000% that it's the optimal thing right now for my soul. I don't want to push it. I don't want to force it. I want to know that I'm walking in a sacred way. I'm doing it for higher reasons and everything. So what happened for me was flashbacks to as a child when I remembered very vividly being an oracle. I remember very vividly being a priestess for Athena at Delphi, at Sunio. And there was other things that I had a connection to. I remembered as a child, nobody knew what to call it. And so you don't have to have that kind of connection. There was people who came in October that didn't feel like, I haven't had a past life in Greece until they were there. So that pretty much does happen. But this is the beautiful thing is that the sacred sites and the temples are all carry a portal. It's a stargate. And I just recently saw Joseph Campbell talking about how the ancient Greeks had the best example of equal masculine, feminine gods and powers of all of the past, of all the myths, of all the cultures that he'd studied. And he said that when you come into these sacred places, they knew what the energy was. They knew this was the stargate, and it's going to take you to somewhere else in the cosmos, to another place in your soul, to another place on the timeline of your life, or into a future timeline. So when you do this, you do it for yourself, for your personal reasons, and then you also do it for everyone. Because what we did this time was prime the pump of the reconnection to Gaia and to the wealth and to the direct access to the sacred feminine being protected again, because we're letting that protection, serpent, dragon, lovely goddess come back as well.
I think that that's so true, Nan. And being on the land itself. So, I told everyone that I had a soul calling to go to Greece, but that was different than walking the land and actually walking where I remember having been an oracle and hearing them calling me home. It's like, Joan of Angels, you're home. We've been waiting for you. And it was almost as if they were coming out, giving me a cup of wine to drink so that I could just go into the cave and start oracleizing. What I call it, oracleizing. But being on the land itself triggers. And then what we do for the land itself is we're reawakening this land that's been dormant. We're reawakening their powers and their gifts so that they will begin to work with us in our sleep state or work with us when we go to the temples. And so I think that that's one of the reasons we're so passionate now about exciting you guys about joining us on the Oracle trip. The world is 23, 24. I'm just going to say it's going to be beyond crazy. And people who can read the weather, spiritual weather report, like Nan does a thing, the spiritual weather report, is important. And then you can also reassure people they're not crazy when some of these changes happen. So I love being an oracle. I call myself the Oracle of Ancient Wisdom because sometimes ancient wisdom, pearls of ancient wisdom come through. Not a researcher, but sometimes I just know because I know because I know.
Exactly. And Dawn from Prescott, Wisconsin says Oracle. And just
Oracle Dawn I met in Egypt, by the way. We shared a room as we were sailing down the Nile together.
Oh my gosh. Well, you have to come. She has to come to Greece now.
Well, she was thinking of coming to Greece. Ooh, so perhaps this will inspire her to come to Greece. She's one of my favorite people.
And you
guys, it's so nice to see you. I want to mention everyone's name.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we have 2 more weeks. If you want to sign up to come to Greece with a deposit, that you get a bonus of a private session with each of us, which is worth about $500. So that's, and
if
then
none of you want to do it, I'll sign up for that private. The last private with Nan I discovered several of my initiations and some of my lifetimes, and it was really very powerful. I want to mention everyone's name. All right.
Kim.
Yes, I want to mention Denise. We are happy to see our oracle from Utah. Kim has an interesting question here about, is the Aborigine vision with the kangaroo baby an oracle thing?
Yeah, she's one of my students, so I know what she's talking about. Yeah, she's been in my intuition awakening courses, and Kim is a phenomenon of exactly what we're talking about, because you maybe you've been doing this work for a long time, and you just know every time you go do one of these things, it's a portal, and you're going to go through to the next level, and you don't really know, but you're going to come home a different person, right? Really activated. Well, Kim said to me one day, I don't really care about Greece. You're talking about Greece, but what I love is Australia and kangaroos. And she came to class, said, I don't know how to do this, and I just gave her some good instructions, basic instructions, and she starts flowing with visions of the most poetic beauty you have ever seen, profound healings. They just flow through her. So yes, honey, you're an oracle.
Absolutely. Then we have Just Divin, oracle in Florida. Yay. We have Dawn, the oracle from Prescott, Wisconsin. We have Danny, who can relate to it. I don't know where you're an oracle from, but you'll let us know. And then we have Kim Lewis. We have Ira Tag.
Yeah, hi, honey.
Lucille LeBlanc, oracle from Massachusetts.
Hi, Lucille.
Yes. Okay. Well, guys, I know there's more of you on. There's Cheryl. We have Cheryl from Folsom. Tina Marie in the house. We have Sylvia. What fun. Will brighten a dreary, rainy day. Not just brighten a weary, dreary day, but it could brighten your week, your month. It could brighten your life. It could brighten everyone else's life around you just by your being on here today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put a new ripple in the timeline. And as you're exploring new things. So Danny Marie is first time joining from California. Hello, hello. I'm from California too. And there's many oracles here in California.
Yeah.
But not all the oracles have been waking up, but some of them have. So Tina Marie is about to show us the tour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is the wrong page. That's my website. Go to /Greece. You can hear me. You can hear me, right, Sadie? So one of the things is that the way that I've been doing retreats for a while was a gift I got from my first mystery school teacher, Alton Camadon, in the Melchizedek method. And I went with him to Egypt the first time. And it was an experience beyond, because he combined going into the temples, getting private access as much as possible, doing the activations on the sites, doing, at the hotel, doing healings, doing activations, teaching new levels of the ascension work that we were doing, the mystery school work. And I came home and I was smitten. The combination of doing these things in a circle. Recently, a lady who came in last month, I think, right? Yeah, we're November. In October, she told me the other day, one of the most profound things was that she's a healer. She does all of her work all the time. She's been to other events, but it's been a long time since she's gone in person. And she said, I forgot how profound it was not only to be at the site, but to be in a circle of other people, even though they're all going through their own path of healing. That, that sense of our closeness, our understanding, are having this experiences that are different. So when we lead the activations, whether we do it in the hotels, we're going to do healings and readings for people. We do them at the temples we go to. We're going with a sacred way. And you are then bringing codes you may not know anything about. And you may be starting to channel information you've never seen before. There we go. Perfect. So, Yeah, so our focus is Delphi, and yet we're going to do several activations while we're there. And one of the things we really wanted to do was the full moon, right, Joan? We
Yeah,
wanted
we're
to
going to
do this.
definitely do a couple of nights of full moon
Yeah.
ceremony.
So we start a couple days before the full moon. So we're getting the full moon energy pretty much the whole time. And we're going to have a full moon ceremony late in the evening on the site of Delphi. We're going to
Yay!
be we're going to go there several times to reactivate the same places, the same temples. Each time we find something magical. This last time they have shut access off to the sacred spring that the oracle would use to purify, that I have a lot of memories of, that everybody coming would purify. And we found another place. We were wandering, feeling into the energies, talking after the activations. Uh, and so these are just a small selection of photos of the places we go and the temples we're going to activate. And many of these we went to this last time. So we've planted seeds, we've primed the pump, things are growing, things are shifting, things are changing. And you're going to stand right there where the oracle was on the original rock, in the temples. You're going to be able to do this full moon magic at night. And then the other really cool thing is, as an oracle awakening, this is for you to become the channel for you, right? In whatever way that is. So you're going to expand. I never talked to iguanas before. Happened to a lady when she was here in Mexico with me. And you are going to find a connection to different energies, gods, goddesses. Certain places are going to make you vibrate off the charts. Different people will resonate in different ways. And then our shared experience, our shared channelings, the oracle that you're becoming, and the ability for you to share or to get the feedback for that is so powerful. So we stay in beautiful, picturesque places, and we go into the temples. We're going to do several nights of full moon activations in sacred places. We're going to activate how many different temples? We're going to activate for the goddesses alone. We're going to activate the sanctuary of Athena twice. We're going to activate several of the Skepleons, and that's the god of healing. And we're going to take you through dream weaving.
Oh, that's right, the dream weaving. Okay, but before you get to the dream weaving, two things I want to tell you. Seeking Heaven was on the Dragon Conference yesterday. She probably spoke after you.
Hi.
Tamara. And Tamara, I want you to meet Nan, who's a dear friend of mine, and soon you're going to meet each other.
Yay.
But I also wanted to say, which I heard you were both great, the luminary, I pulled the card, the luminary, because I said, okay, what else can we say about oracles? Luminary. It talked about this is the time to release whatever blanket you have been wearing that's covering your light. This is the time to shine like a radiant beam of light and to remove your blinders from the full potential of everything that you are and everything you came here to do this lifetime. So what the oracles want us to know now is that if we just remove the wool from our eyes, remove the blinders, and we start paying attention to these messages and saying yes, that's going to be life shifting for you.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and part of that is unplugging from what's happening on the world stage, unplugging from the drama in your family or your home or your job, the drama in your head. And part of the sacred feminine is letting go and trusting, is receiving, is trusting you're going to have everything you need so that you can go deep into your own sacred space and ground into your own root and become this source for this everlasting spring that comes up within you. And then you don't have that blinder on of this person, that person, hate, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of this will be as we get closer, the sooner when you decide to join, then the minute that starts the journey. Okay, you're going to start to have a transformation. We both work with our clients and our students in the ethers in many dimensions. So you will be having some transformation. We will be coming up with, when we're inspired, to do special calls for people coming on this. And we may do a special dream weaving thing, because what we've discovered is that the Asclepions, the god of healing, who has all of these goddess daughters and wife that are the pillars of healing, had the centers that became hospitals, and they're all over, and they're quite profound. And we were able to go to several of them, right into the altars, and reactivate them. And it was quite profound, because what they did was, originally they were spiritual healing centers where you were prepared and then you slept in the temple, and the gods and goddesses came directly to you, gave you your healing or your information. And when you woke up, you came to people like Joan and I, and you said, here's what happened. And you either have been healed, there was a miracle healing, or they help you interpret what to do next. This is what we want to reactivate within everyone as well, direct access to that healing. So you're going to be a part of activating these, being in those temples, and then we're going to guide you into going to sleep 2 nights and doing this dream weaving, dream walking, and healing.
Isn't that interesting? She didn't get it from the title of this deck that I happen to have, the Dream Weavers deck, but it's what people are talking about now, how we can weave these threads from the other side and even shift our dreams to relate to what's happening now. So I have another deck from also Delphi. I had to come home with as many Delphi Oracle tools as I could. I was just so inspired. And this one is about Father Sky. So all of these with some of the Greek gods. And when we see Father Sky, a new striving upwards, seeking objectivity and openness, and seeking height for the flowering of your projects. In other words, limitless potential, radiance and luminosity. And I think the card that I picked before, luminous, to be radiant, to let your light shine, to be that fiery being of light. As Father Sky, he was the first ruler of the universe, later castrated and deposed by his son Kronos. Okay, so
yes, you have to remember that these are symbols of energies. Yeah, but the really beautiful thing about that is that flowering upward. I love that idea of striving upward, just like that natural reaching for the sun. And that's what this reconnection that we've done there is, priming the pump to. I do this, like I bent over on the beach today and I was stretching, looking at I found a little wing shell when I was talking to Joan, texting her. So I was like, oh, look, a little wing from Joan on the beach. And that idea of this energy, just my connection now to Gaia directly from my 8 original cells right here in the sacral. So then the dragons came on Saturday and said, now is the time of raising the sacred feminine. This is the Kundalini. You cannot create until you clear your sacral out and release the dragon up, right? That balanced up this way. So the luminosity, the striving up, and then the flowering. I love this in so many senses, of flowering in your heart, flowering in your solar plexus, brighter light, more expression, more of owning your power, flowering in your throat, your voice, your communication on so many levels begins to flower and open, the flowering in your third eye, the crown. So the energies are going to be coming through doing these beautiful things. And your awakening, what was the other one? Radiance and luminosity. We love Apollo, even though he does sometimes embody the masculine that took over. He's the effeminate masculine, right? He loves music and poetry and prophecy, and has this beautiful energy of wanting to hold space for, wanting to own, wanting to display, wanting to bring wealth and respect to the oracle. And so these are the kind of energies that are coming, and he's the god of radiance. And so that idea, and what is radiance? It's not reflection like the moon. It's radiating from within.
That's why you always catch us standing like this. All my pictures in Egypt in front of the temples and in Greece, it's like I'm a vessel for the light coming in.
Yeah,
and exactly. I'm a vessel for the light coming out and touching you. So we've shared a lot of thoughts. Any questions, guys?
Yeah, ask questions, because we want to take you to the cave through an oracle experience and to help you feel into this beautiful place, because we're going for us, we're going for the world, we're going for anyone who feels called to join us. And the way that I hold space is inclusive of who you are now, who you are becoming, who is falling apart. So it is a very sacred, loving space. I think Joan can attest to that. You felt safe, you felt you were with other really loving people. And so whatever's going to come up can come up.
It was very safe, Nan, because, well, first of all, it's all women. The next one won't be all women. There'll be a few male placeholders that hold this container of energy, one being Nan's beloved partner. But you do feel safe, because what we all do, and we're all seeking to remember who we are and the tools that we have here and our gifts and our mastery. So, Nan, do you want to start this meditation? Then
I want to share a card that I pulled from this deck, which we got in Delphi. It's called the Delphic Oracle cards, and these are actual prophecies from the Oracle in Delphi that were recorded, the ones that were recorded and not destroyed. And so this one says, despise evil. And the number is 119. You can see that there's a mask on this person, right? It's like a theater mask. So it's covering up something underneath, and it's dancing, it's playing a game right here. And what it said in here, I'm going to interpret. It says the sage, so the oracle, the wise one, right? When you decide, no, I have everything I need. I may not know how I work, but I have everything I need. I'm going to start relaxing. I'm going to start softening into my sacred feminine. I'm going to. So despise is not my favorite word. It's not the word I would use. So through time, you have to take the words and just shift them. So what it is do not agree to it. Do not agree to go in and even have a part of it, because in Ho'oponopono, if you are thinking about it, if you are talking about it, if you are watching it, you are creating it. And saying, thank you, I love you, forgive me, I'm sorry, disconnects you from it and actually dismantles it. So she says that the sage despises, keeps a distance from evil and people who commit evil and relish in evil. And if you do not distance yourself, they will ruin you and all your doings. This sage does not drop to evil methods for gain or profit. So that means you have to walk your own path right now, because people want you to agree that this person's to blame and that thing is terrible and none of it is truth and it's an illusion we're leaving behind. And one of the things that we want from the oracles gathering, the sacred feminine rising, is that we truly hold that sacred feminine vision, that love is everything and it is not an abstract cutesy thing. This is a power that has not been allowed to rise until now, because we have to have enough of us that are living from our heart. Right. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to have share the sweet life with you. Yay. Have a sip of my cacao. Okay, I'm going to take off my fabulous jewelry just in case it's a clinking and a clunking.
I've been talking, forgot that I muted myself.
Hi. What were you saying?
So I was saying that I pulled several of the cards also from the deck, and I wanted to share them with people. And live without sorrow. So having no regrets, guys. The oracles, and this is true, life is too short to regret what you did 10 years ago or 5 years ago or even a week ago. What's done is done, and it's about moving on. So living without sorrow was one of their tenets, and then be happy with what you have. And that is, it's beyond gratitude. It's like if you're creating a new future, but you're dissing what you have now and go, I don't want this, I don't like this. The more you focus on that, the more you're going to recreate that for the future. What should be apparent is that where you're going is the result of where you've been. And as you create new pathways, be grateful that you've attained a certain level of wisdom and awareness to even know where you are. Yes, I tried my crown today, but it hurt my head. But be happy with what you have. So I have a head of hair that has no crown on it. I'm grateful for that because it doesn't hurt then. And the last card I pulled was gratitude. So, guys, maybe some of you are oracles and some of you are oracle wannabes and some of you are great at channeling and some of you wish you channeled more. Here's the thing. Be grateful for the skills you have already. Be grateful that you woke up enough to find us today, that your higher self said, no, I got to go hear what the oracles are up to. Am I an oracle? So be grateful for that which has brought you to this very moment in time where life-changing awarenesses are about to happen for you. So take a look inside and really, in fact, close your eyes and think of the chronology of events that led you to this moment of being with us oracles. How did you get here? When I look at that, well, I go all the way back to the day Nan and I first met. But it wasn't even when she invited me to be on her summit. It was, well, then I go back to what it took for me to have the skills that Nan might even reach out to me for. So now I'm going back and I'm going, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I listened to Spirit in 2013 when they told me to paint. And then I have to go back further and it's like, oh my God, thank God my life so fell apart that I was in LA right at the time where I needed to hear those angels, and I was in that place. So it goes back, and then it could go back even further because every step we are taking now is a result of certain transition points. When you say yes to that which your guides are bringing you or to that calling, then you can't ever get lost, ever. You get lost when you ignore those callings and you say, I'm going to impose logic on what's illogical here.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, sweetie. Thank you. Thank you. So Joan and I are going to come back again. We're going to have a regular show. It's going to be a little irregular through the end of the year, but we feel called to continue to share this journey with you. We might bring up a different site or a different temple or a different experience. We might, channel an oracle or whatever you want to call it, messages from different things or teach you how to do readings. There's so much here. And something you just said made me write down, clear your chalice. And what I felt was, it was like you were saying something, and it's like our womb, our sacral, our powers, our sacred feminine, our own independent strength and ability to receive first, and then overflow, and give out. And it was this chalice of like letting all of this fresh energy come in, all of these opportunities to connect together. Let's raise a huge community around the world. Maybe one day we'll have a meeting of the oracles for like hundreds of people in Delphi, Could you imagine, just imagine the vision of that, or on an island, because we're going to go to an island after this and do some water spirit guide magic. So this is the time to come in and to feel yourself. I want to share, this is the omphalos, which is the navel. It's a sculpture of the statue from Delphi that even in some of the paintings, Apollo is sitting on top of this shooting arrows at our beloved Delphine, the serpent, our Kundalini energy. And sitting here meant you were the one in the power. So we have this, and this went with me. We all had this little belly button stone to activate when we were there. So I'm holding this and sending this to you, and you can take a deep breath in and hold it as long as possible. Turn your attention in and watch the energy that breath came in move around you. Let it go when you need. Now, let it wash out the heaviness down through you, allowing you to come deeper and deeper into this sacred space. Take another slow, deep breath in. Bring this down the throat and feel it cleansing the throat, the higher heart, and the heart. Flowing down the arms. Let it go through the fingertips. And you relax deeper and deeper into this moment. Declare in your heart, I enter this sacred space in reverence, presence, and love. I ask now, inside this sacred temple of light, with the pillars of the sacred feminine, the guides that have been here through time and space, I'm ready to release that fear, past vows, karmic knots in any level of my body, in any life of my soul, through time and space that no longer serves my highest good. You now are moving into this sacred place and being transported to Delphi, the spring of light sparkling here. You drink and bathe. You feel the softness and the wisdom in the water, alive, wise. You feel now the land glowing, rumbling almost, the rhythm of Gaia's heart vibrating up. You notice now that your heart is relaxed and expanded. The guides that are optimal for you appear: Athena, Artemis, Aphrodite. The oracles are here. They're beginning to gather the young maidens, the old wise sages, all of the ones from Daphnis, the very first. They're gathering. You see them coming from the trees and the stones on this sheer cliff of Mount Parnassus. Now the nature spirits rise, and you feel Gaia and Delphine, the sacred serpent, the guardian, creating a mist around us. We shed our skins, our illusions, our identities, and we begin to sing. Our hearts are vibrating together. We are glowing light. We look like glowing fairies, and we walk towards the opening, the sacred cave. We can smell the sacred scents, the perfumes, the flowers, the herbs, the earth, the past. One by one, you walk in a sacred way. You feel your steps. You see your feet. You pass. I ask permission and declare I am that I am, and I am here to become that which I am designed to become. There is nothing that can keep me. I accept my power and my grace. I accept my soul gifts, and I accept this sacred moment. I re-enter the cave of the oracle. I reconnect to my oracle, and I become now one through time and space with all these sacred divine guides. Enter the cave, and Joan will guide you to take your place.
And as you look around you, you see many, many beings that you know. Your family lit up as you look around you. You see your ancient departed ones. You see your family. You see your angels, your spirit team, all there waiting for you to take your place. All there waiting for you to claim the divinity within you. All there waiting because you are worth waiting for, because you are one with them. This is your home. This is your sacred womb. This is where the divine source comes from. And as you feel into this, and feel into the certainty that I belong here. These are my people. This is my tribe. And this sense of knowingness comes through you, that you are in the exact right place at the exact right time. And that your gifts, your skills, your powers, as you feel into them, the gift of telepathy, the gift of clairsentience, the gift of clairaudience, of hearing, the gifts of seeing, feeling that your eyes are literally being cleared so that not only with your third eye being activated, but your inner sight is coming clear. So we give thanks for the awakening of these skills. We give thanks for the clarity of our sight. We give thanks for every step that took us to this point. For we know that we'll be back here every night when the oracles return. We can come and taste of this, of step in this. We can breathe it in, knowing that we're not alone and that we're part of a sacred tribe. For the oracles were not just oracles in one lifetime. You were a community of oracles. You knew each other. You worked with each other. You read for each other. You were able to predict and see future outcomes. So take a moment to just feel how wonderful it is to be with your tribe. And ask if there's any messages for you. And then when you're ready, come back to this call with Nan and Joan. Come back to this awakening, being grateful that you're tapping into the oracle, your oracle, you as the oracle. So it is.
Feel the energy of the space. Bring it with you. You've touched something sacred within you. You've touched a time and a place that has power. This has been downloaded into you, whether you feel it or not. Accept that as you enter this moment again. We're not the same, and you have new connections. You have traveled through time and space. You have reactivated your inner glow. Your sisterhood is here. The oracle was only in a feminine body. The sisterhood was like a serpent through time. We did know each other. Different lives, different continents, different cultures. The oracle, through time and space, has respect, wisdom, spreading love and truth and awakening you to your truth. This is your path. Bring it back now. And a flower in your hand from Delphine and Daphnis and Gaia. As you ground back in, you may want to put your hand on your belly button, put your palm. This is a portal over your belly button, and it will extend around into that sacred place. Remember that the navel isn't just the symbolic umbilical cord or the physical one that fed you in your mother's womb. It is the connection. And I want to read this. I hope it's here still. I shared with Joan earlier, because when I realized when we went to Greece in October that the calling was not convenient. It was not the plan. I had no intention of going anywhere that far away for a long time, and not because I didn't want to or I love it or I'm afraid to travel, none of those reasons. So I had to go through a series of my own, like, oh, and ride my emotions and staying in tune. And so the journey begins when you feel called to anything, right? To a person, to a retreat, to a class, to a book. And you may go through that up and down. And I thought this was quite profound because they've been studying the energy at sacred sites. Scientists have been actually measuring it now. So we all know, we go there, we feel it, we see it. I had a friend drive a drone over the top of a pyramid here, and the drone, as soon as it got to the peak, bam, it hit that beam of light that came out. It comes out with that power, and it killed the drone. It went on autopilot back. So what Joseph Campbell said was that the ancients believed that temples and power places are stargates and connected by electromagnetic umbilical cords to distant parts of the cosmos. From the Celts to Native Americans, all cultures had ancient sacred sites to connect them to something in otherworldly. The scientific discoveries of energy measured at sacred sites and how the temples were designed to take your consciousness on a shamanic ride to holy places that you never thought possible. And that's what we want to invite you to have a personal journey, to come help us awaken this for the whole planet, to come and play. And we will be having these shows to keep going into these different topics, to keep bringing through new healings, new information. And we want to hear from you. Let us know what you would like, that we can be at the highest service for you and what you're going through, because each of us is an important light. And I want to honor you and thank you for being here and sharing. And remember, if you want to have us contact you about these, subscribe to our YouTube channels or to our websites so we can stay in touch.
Wow.
So thank you, everyone. And thank you for joining us. I hope that I'm just looking to see if anybody's able to talk right now after visiting the Oracle Cave.
Right? Well, we're getting a lot of hearts. Guys, we're just so, and a thank you right here. We're just so grateful for all of you for joining with us. You know, Nan and I do this because it feels good for us to go back to those spots.
Yeah.
And
it's part of our path and our awakening. You know, we're on the path too. Yeah.
We are. So the dream weavers within us, and then the oracles of Delphi who are with us, and all those classical Greek gods who are with us. Thank you so much, and we're grateful to each and every one of you. And we will see you all next time.
Thank you, everybody. And I want to remind everybody to say thank you to Isis. This is the beautiful Isis that Joan brought me from Egypt and went through all the sites with us. And yes, we do go to a sacred site that has a temple for Isis that was the headquarters. And it was quite mind-boggling to me. So we will be going back. And she had some wounding on the journey, and now she is back and whole. And she kind of told me off because I wasn't putting her in on camera while she had her broken wingtips. And she called in the middle of a call one day and said, "Hey, you don't judge people based on how they look. I'm still whole. I can be here."
Wow.
Yeah. So she does have her tips back, but
profound. Yeah. Guys, we're holding you all in love. We'll see you all next time. Joan of Angels and Nan Akasha and the oracles of Delphi.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone. Right. May the circle be open yet unbroken. Peace, peace, peace.
And so it is.